Welcome back to the bookshelf. Tonight, settle in beside the rain, lower the light, and follow an old railway line into one of the most unsettling ghost stories Charles Dickens ever wrote. This is The Signal Man, retold as a quiet, atmospheric journey for a late night. A lonely traveller stands at the top of a steep railway cutting. Far below him, the track runs through a narrow trench of stone and earth, then disappears into the black mouth of a tunnel. The evening sky is red, the air is cold, and the whole place feels as if it has been carved away from the living world. Below, beside the line, a signalman stands at the door of his small box. He should look upward when the traveller calls, but he does not. He turns the other way and stares down the track, toward the tunnel, as if another voice has spoken from the darkness first. The traveller calls again. At last, the signalman looks up. His face is pale and watchful. There is no welcome in it, only caution. The path down is steep, cut into the earth with damp stones and hard shadows on either side. When the traveller reaches him, the signalman is polite, but uneasy. He has the manner of a man who has spent too many nights listening. His work is simple in shape and terrible in weight. Watch the signal, answer the bell, guard the line, and keep disaster from passing unseen. Inside the box, the fire is low. The instruments wait in their places. A telegraph needle rests still. A bell hangs silent. Outside, the tunnel mouth breathes darkness. Every now and then, a train tears through the cutting, filling the narrow place with iron smoke and thunder. The traveller notices that the signalman keeps glancing toward the bell, not because it has rung, but because he fears it might. Something has happened here, something he is ashamed to say aloud, and yet the burden of it is pressing so hard on him that silence has become almost impossible. The place itself seems to listen with him. Water drips from the stones. The wires hum faintly above the cutting. The red danger light stains the mist beyond the window, and every ordinary sound becomes suspicious. The shift of coal in the grate, the tick of the instrument, the distant tremor of wheels not yet seen. The traveller tries to make conversation, but the signalman answers like someone measuring every word before he lets it go. He knows his duties. He knows the rules of the line. He knows what can be explained by machinery, fatigue, weather, or echo. That is why his fear is so difficult to dismiss. At last, in a low voice, the signalman tells his story. Some nights ago, he saw a figure near the tunnel. It stood by the danger light, one arm across its face, the other waving violently, as if warning him away. Then it cried out words that froze him where he stood. "Hello, below there! Look out! Look out!" The words came from the figure, or from the air itself. The signalman ran toward it, but when he reached the place, no one was there. The tunnel was empty. The line was clear. Only the red light burned on, steady and silent. A few hours later, horror came down the line. There was an accident in the tunnel. Men shouted, lamps swung in the dark. The injured and the dead were carried past the signal box, and the signalman understood that the vision had come before the disaster, not after it. Imagine being given a warning with no instructions. Imagine seeing danger approach but not knowing where to place your hand. No lever to pull, no message to send, no name, no number, no hour. Only a cry in the dark, and afterward the proof that the cry had meant something. Time passed. He tried to reason with himself. He was educated enough to doubt his senses and lonely enough to mistrust his own mind. But the figure returned. Again it stood by the red light. Again it covered its face. Again it seemed to warn him of something he could not prevent. Soon after, a young woman died on a passing train. No warning had come through the wires, no ordinary signal had failed. Yet the apparition had appeared before it happened, like a message from a world that knew the end but would not explain the cause. After that, the signalman could no longer separate his work from dread. Each train became a question. Each passenger window became a face that might vanish. The bell did not need to ring loudly. It only needed to stir in his imagination, and the whole cutting changed into a place of waiting. Now the signalman is haunted for a third time. The bell trembles for him when no one else hears it. The figure waits near the tunnel. The same cry returns, "Look out!" But look out for what? Which train? Which hour? Which life is standing unknowingly in the path of the warning? The traveller wants to help him. He thinks of doctors, of rest, of a rational explanation. But the cutting feels deeper than reason. The tunnel does not look like an opening in the earth anymore. It looks like a throat, and the red light beside it burns like an eye that never closes. Before they part, the traveler asks him not to call out if he sees the figure again. He asks him to stay calm, to hold to the world of facts, and to meet him the next day. It is a practical plan, kindly meant. But practical plans can feel very small in places where the dark already knows your name. The next day, the traveler returns. The path is the same. The air is the same. But workmen are gathered by the line, and something has happened. The signal man is dead, struck by a train at the mouth of the tunnel he had feared. The driver had seen him on the track and cried out to warn him. He had covered his face with one arm and waved the other. He had shouted the very words that had haunted the signal man in the dark. "Hello, below there. Look out, look out." And so the story closes without comfort. Was the ghost warning him or repeating what was already written? Did the future reach backward, or did fear learn the shape of fate? The line is quiet now, the bell is still, but somewhere below, beside a red light and a tunnel, a warning may still be waiting to be heard. If this old railway stayed with you, leave a light on the platform and subscribe for more classic ghost stories, sleep stories, and atmospheric audiobooks from the bookshelf. Good night, and listen carefully when the rain sounds like distant wheels.